All right, I want to share a story with you today that kind of feels like where we are. It feels like we live in the Arctic with all this snow and ice. We don't, but it feels like it. But this story is set in the Arctic. And look here. What are these? Yeah, polar bears. They love it in the ice and snow. Well, this story is called The Three Snow Bears, and it's by Jan Brett. She's a very famous author, and she usually travels to the places that she writes about. So I wonder if she went to the Arctic before she wrote this story. She also paints all of the pictures for her books. They're fabulous pictures. So let's see. I want you to think about another story that you know that's like this story. You'll recognize it as we go along. Let's see what happens. Oh, goodness. In the Arctic, they need dog sleds to get around sometimes. And look, where she's wearing a parka. That's a really heavy coat to keep warm. All right. Come back, Aluki shouted as her huskies floated out to sea. Oh no, she knew that although an ice floe is a good place to fish, it's a bad place to lose a dog team. Not far away, a snow bear family had just started to eat their breakfast. But it was way too hot for Baby Bear. There's a clue. Baby Bear. Now, the other thing is, do bears live in houses and dress in clothes and eat breakfast like together? Probably not. So we're probably not looking at a true story here, right? Okay. Owie! Yelled Baby Bear. My breakfast burned my mouth. We'll go for a stroll and let the soup cool, Mama Bear said. Oh, there's another clue. Think about another story that you know that's like that. Aluki was running along looking for her dogs when she came upon the biggest igloo she had ever seen. Who lives here? She wondered. I wonder who lives in this igloo. Aluki ducked inside. Right away, she smelled something delicious. Across the room, she saw a big bowl, a middle-sized bowl, and a small bowl. Surely the good smell was coming from the three bowls. Aluki took a sip from the biggest bowl. Ow! She cried. Too hot. She took a sip from the middle-sized bowl. Ew, too cold. She tipped up the littlest bowl and drank every drop. She said, not too hot and not too cold. Now let's think. She went into a bear's house. She is testing their breakfast. One was too hot, one was too cold, and one, the littlest one, was just right. What story does that sound like? In the next room, Aluki spotted 3 pairs of beautiful boots standing in a row. She put on the biggest boot. Too big, she said. She put on the middle-sized boot. Too fancy, she said. She put on the littlest pair. Just right, she said, wiggling her toes in the soft fur lining. She's trying on boots of 3 bears, and the littlest one fit. Aluki walked into the last room and found a long sleeping bench piled high with fur covers. Heat from an oil lamp warmed her cheeks and made her sleepy. Time for a nap, she thought. She crawled under the highest mound of covers. Too lumpy, she grumbled. She tried the middle bed with the furry fringe cover, but sank down so far that she could hardly breathe. Too soft, she said. She rolled over in the smallest sleeping place. The furry blanket was cozy and warm, and the pillow was just her size. Just right, Aluki murmured, and she was asleep before she could take off her boots. So she's sleeping in someone's covers. If a Lukey hadn't fallen fast asleep, she might have heard her dogs barking happily. Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear had spotted them adrift in the strong current and gone out to save them. The Snow Bear family was pushing a Lukey's dog team back toward their igloo and safety. Someone's coming home, and they saved the dog's team. Papa Bear crawled into the igloo and saw his big bowl sitting in a pool of spilled soup. "Someone's been tasting my soup," he roared. Mama Bear rushed in and saw that her soup had been sloshed around too. "Someone's been sipping my soup," she growled. "Someone found my soup," sputtered Baby Bear in her high squeaky voice, "and they ate it all up." That sounds familiar. Papa Bear ran into the next room and saw his boots in the middle of the floor. "Someone's been trying on my boots," he boomed in his big bear voice. Mama Bear put on her fancy boots. "Someone has had these boots on," she huffed, "and the fur is all bunched up." Baby Bear saw that her boots had disappeared. "Someone has taken my boots and left behind these not as good ones," she wailed. The bears ran into the bedroom. "Someone's been sleeping in my bed," Papa Bear bellowed. "Someone's been sleeping in my bed too," Mama Bear cried. Baby Bear peeked at her little bed and squeaked, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and here she is." Uh-oh. A Lukey opened her eyes and saw the three bears' noses only inches away. Oh no. How would you like to wake up to three big polar bears? She hopped out of bed and dove between Papa Bear's huge, furry legs. Oh, she's going to get out of there, isn't she? Quicker than a seal, a Lukey ran from room to room until she burst outside. Her huskies bounced around, barking and smiling their doggy grins. Oh, they're happy to see her, and I bet she's happy to see them. A Lukey and her dogs flew over the frozen ice, dodging ridges and cracks. She looked back to wave a thank you to the snow bears. She couldn't see them, but she heard a big gruff voice, a middle-sized voice, and a high squeaky voice calling to her. "Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye." All right, now let's think about what story this reminds you of that we already know.